I'm going to continue to work on the file for the rest of the week and add more details, but I've built this file in layers, and I've saved every draft. And so there's invisible layers that are earlier drafts within this file that I can turn on and off. When I'm being interviewed, I can demonstrate this live. So I'll be able to move through the file in the 3D space live and might be able to turn on and off different layers depending on what their questions and what my answers might be. One of the facades that I wanted to do was the gateway poncho that Alexei Varanich sent out to all of us. And so I built that out in 3D space. Trying to visualize Puma Punku, I realized that there's really multiple options that may work with the same blocks. And so that's one of the ideas that I wanted to present. And so that's one of the options that I've worked on. And this is where I was at like last week. So I'm even more rendered than this. And I've been looking at solar alignments and like where the sun would rise and set and how that might impact the shadows, or any if there would be any alignments with any structures. So I'm going to answer the rest of your questions a little out of order, but you asked for imagery of my office space. So I work out of a home office space, but our entire lower level is our office. And so this is my desk. I build everything in a program called Blender, and I typically light and arrange and stage all the objects in a program called Unreal Engine. Everything's built one-to-one size. I typically start a project like this by gathering as much reference as I possibly can. I'll explain that Simpsons book, but there's all my Tiwanaku books, and the Simpsons book is a style guide. In consumer products, a style guide defines the characteristics of a license to the licensee. So I wanted to build what I considered a style guide of Tiwanaku culture, and so I just gathered all the reference that was important to me in defining the design icons of Puma Punku. And for me, it's not just about the architecture, it's also about seeing the people and the characteristics of the people and the clothing that they're wearing and the outfits that might have been present at Puma Punku. So that's also one of the things I wanted to visualize. And as Alexei Varanich pointed out with that gateway poncho, there's many known Tiwanaku ponchos from the time period when Puma Punku was supposedly built. This is where I usually sit in the evening and got a bunch of my unfinished gateway models there that I need to work on still. And my iPad where I do a lot of my video editing. I have my corner where I have some unfinished paintings from October. I'm going to have a larger painting of Viracocha on the easel by the time you guys come over to film. So the monsters will go. This is the laser cut acrylic sheet negative for all the gateways that I had created. This is what some of them look like assembled. And those are two action figures that I created. One is a 5-foot alien and the other is a 6-foot human being. It actually helped me to print out the Gateway of the Sun Lego size along with a human being Lego size. It allowed me to work with Legos to quickly come up with a couple of different ideas. Again, I think there could be multiple options, but once I got to this point, it was enough for me to go back to the computer and move forward confidently. I feel if you only work digitally, you might miss some things that the physical touch might pick up on. And I love historic 3D. So this is the earliest 3D photo of the Sungate. These are early 1900s, late 1800 stereoscope cards. And the two pictures are taking at two different angles. So like a ViewMaster, you can put them into a viewer and see it in 3D. And it also makes me think about, from then till now, the Oculus. And one of the ideas that I want to present too is this game. I think because of the multiple variations, and I can go through the math on just how insanely complex it becomes. there's billions of variations that could potentially work. And so one of the thoughts I had and that I would like to present during the conversation is the idea of a 3D game. And I'm going to try to see if I can get it to be a virtual reality experience. I know I can get the game to work on screen and allow the interviewer to play around with the game. I just wanted to show you this too because this is the laptop I will be bringing in studio, and it connects very easily through an HDMI cable to any video monitor that has an HDMI input. So I think that should give you a good idea of the environment that I work in and a little bit about the process that I use to do my 3D work. I very much design in both worlds. I prefer to have a project be both analog and digital.